Let's start with your early years. Paige, can you paint the picture for me? What was it like growing up in Edina and wanting to become a basketball player?
Yeah, I was a tomboy growing up. I played all the sports. I loved playing at recess, at gym class. I loved soccer, baseball, football, basketball, of course. Even ran a little bit of track, but just outside all the time playing in the summers and then inside in the winters. I was always in the gym playing basketball, so always had a ball in my hand, was always playing catch, could never sit still, very fidgety, probably had a little bit of ADD or something like that, but basketball was the one I chose and fell in love with.
What was it about basketball that made you say, that's it, that's me?
I think the shared experience with your teammates. I've always loved building relationships and sharing wins, sharing losses, sharing the whole journey with your teammates, and then just the level of compete, and I was all right at it. So that was probably the one I was best at.
Yeah, pretty good at it. And speaking of, this photo has made the rounds a lot, right, during the Final Four. So what motivated 11-year-old Paige?
Just the want to be great, and the Minnesota Lynx dynasty was like everything to me when I was young. You just saw them winning, and it just created like a want to be a winner in me, and just wanting to be the best on the team, wanting to be the best in the state, wanting to ultimately be the best in the country, which then translated to me wanting to be the best teammate, best leader, best winner, because those are ultimately the things that matter the most and contribute to winning. And so there's been a lot of growth since that moment of just what I prioritize as important and how I compete and how I work to get better as a basketball player and as a human being. But I just love basketball so much ever since a young age, and the fire has always been the same.
When did you know you could be really successful at it? You know, you could end up playing at a powerhouse like UConn, and you could make this your life.
Yeah, you never want to take it for granted or think you're entitled to anything, but it was probably around 4th or 5th grade that I knew, like, this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So then you just take it step by step, day by day, trying to get 1% better. And I think the thing for me was never getting complacent with my wins, with my losses, always learning and always wanting to get better regardless of what's happening. And so it was probably 4th or 5th grade that I realized I wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
All right, let's talk about UConn now, because your collegiate career arc is amazing. Player of the year as a freshman, the devastating ACL injury, and you come back and end up as a champion. This is a difficult question, but I ask it intentionally because I think you giving this answer will help a lot of people who look up to you, Paige. What was your lowest point, and how did you work through it and show that resiliency that ended up making you a champion?
Many would probably expect me to say my ACL. That was devastating. It was the most devastating thing, or one of them, I had faced up to that point. And then the whole year I rehabbed, recovered, changed the way I ate, slept, took care of my body. And I changed a lot about myself to better prepare myself for the future, for a long career, to try to do my best to stay healthy. It's not under your control, but to do everything you can in your control to prevent those things. And then that summer, or the preseason, it was around September, like a couple weeks before the season started, I broke my thumb. And that truly was the most devastating one, because I thought I had done everything right. I had trained my body, my mind, did everything right in terms of the rehab recovery process, and it was supposed to be my time. And then just taking a charge in practice, I had my hand like this, and it just broke. And I thought it was just going to be a jam thumb. I didn't even want to tell anybody about it, but like 2 weeks before the season, I broke my thumb, had surgery, and I was supposed to sit out, but I told them I'm not sitting out. Like, I've been through way too much. I don't even need my left thumb. I really don't even use my left hand. So God willing, they made a splint, a hard plastic cover for it in the games, and I had to wear it through like the first month of the season. But that was just so devastating, because you had thought you'd done everything right and it was your time. No more bumps and no more roadblocks. But I do believe in my faith and everything happening for a reason. I think I was moving so fast during the preseason in the recovery process. I think I saved myself from something bigger, and so I look back and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for everything that's been a part of my journey, but I think that was probably the most devastating one. And probably people are like, it was just a broken thumb, but it was everything leading up to it and that.
Where did you look inside yourself to find that resiliency to keep going?
Just knowing all that I had been through and everybody who had invested in me throughout that entire process. I had so many people pouring into me getting back on the court and being the person I was before the injury and even better. So I wasn't going to not reward their hard work in me. And so they motivated me, my teammates motivated me, my family motivated me, and then just your undying passion for the game that nothing will stop you from getting back to that.
And nothing did stop you. You ended up winning a championship, and there's a great photo of you in the locker room afterward with your head down and the championship nets are around your neck. So the question is this: how much better was the reality of that than all the dreams you had before it?
It's crazy because it's so surreal, and like you walk around and somebody will be like, "What up, champ?" And it's like, yes, like okay, like we won, like we actually did it, and you had worked so hard for it. You envisioned that going to UConn, the legacy, the championships they've already won. You just wanted to be a part of that. And it still hasn't really sunk into me. It's still an everyday thing that you can wake up and be like, man, we won a national championship together. So it's better than you could ever dream of. And it's still like sometimes I got to pinch myself.
That's fantastic. All right, let's talk about getting acclimated here in Dallas. Let me apologize for the heat, man. I wish I could tell you something more, but how tough has it been?
I have said that, like, I'm used to the cold. I went from Minnesota to Connecticut, and I was like, I could use a little switch up in some heat, but this is different for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I hope that you will quickly acclimate to it. You can acclimate to it. I will say that. That's for sure. You mentioned Hurtado's. Mm-hmm. I heard you went. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the Tex-Mex, the barbecue? What was that vibe like?
It was amazing. I love where I'm from. I love Connecticut, but I had never had food like that specifically. So that was an eye-opening experience, and it was like within the first 2 days that I've been here. So I'm like, I'll be all right here. So just knowing the food is amazing everywhere you turn, and there's so many options. I think definitely be good in that department.
I also saw that you got that front row seat for Game 4 with the Stars. What was that experience like being in that environment?
Really cool. I've already known Dallas to be a sports hub, but their fans, you got to see their passion up close and personal to really understand it. And it was really cool. I didn't know. So one of their players got a hat trick, and everybody just flipped their caps onto the
ice.
Yes. Yeah, that
you were gonna say
like
court. Ice.
Arena
Yes.
field
Yes.
ice, and that was crazy. I'm like, I've never seen that in a real life, a reaction like that. But they're used to it. I guess that's a thing and a tradition. But just the welcoming, people saying like "Welcome to Dallas," them showing the love and support for the Dallas Wings and women's basketball, and just the city's excitement in general. It was nice to see that in person.
Yeah, speaking of Dallas Pro Sports, I know you mentioned that Kyrie Irving is one of the players that you look up to. I need a Kyrie Irving update. Has the meeting been scheduled yet? I know you've been busy with your schedule. Is it in the works? Do you need help brokering that? We're here to help. Where's it at?
I know he's a busy man. I saw him. He was in LA at I think it was the Clippers or Lakers game. So I know he's rehabbing his ACL as well. So I think it'll happen organically. But I really hope to meet him at some point.
What is it about the way he goes about his business that inspired you to want to emulate some of the things he does?
A lot of things. I mean, just his skill level, you can tell how dedicated and how much time he puts into his craft by the way that he plays and the different skill sets that he has. He's an undersized guard in the NBA, and he's a 50, 40, 90 player, extremely efficient, can finish like he's 7 feet tall. It's just amazing the way he plays, and then the way he carries himself. He's unapologetically himself. He doesn't care about the opinions of others, and he just has a way about himself that speaks confidence and that he doesn't regret anything. He doesn't live in a state of regret, and it's all a part of his journey. And he has a faith about him that he believes everything happens for a reason as well. And so just and everybody talks about him and says he's a great teammate and a great person to be around. So he's reached out to me and been very supportive of me through my journey, and he's welcomed me here when I got drafted. So he's just an overall nice guy, but an amazing basketball player and an amazing human.
Yeah, that 50-40-90 is no joke. It is an amazing stat line, and he just keeps doing it. Speaking of the Mavericks, were you as shocked as everyone else that they end up winning the draft lottery?
Yeah, I mean, in this world of social media, you never know what's true and what's fake. So
Right.
to actually have that confirmed news to be true, I think, yeah, it's just an exciting time in Dallas right now.
Listen, you know what the experience will be like. What's your best advice for Cooper Flagg if he ends up being that number 1 overall pick?
Just to take it in stride. Don't try to appease people or live up to the expectations that other people set for yourself. Just be who you are. He's a winner and he's a competitor. He just wants to contribute to winning, and that's all he cares about. So stay true to who he is and do what's gotten him to be the number 1 pick.
All right, let's talk about the opener. It's getting close. It's almost here. What excites you about this moment when, listen, we've gotten a sneak peek of how you will look in this uniform, but this is when it really counts. And what gets your juices flowing, looking forward to when that ball is tipped up?
Every game is important, and there's no off days or off games, and every game you play is to get into the playoffs. So there's a level of competition within this league that you're competing against the best every single night, and nobody's taking an off night. And just to get this thing going, we've been practicing for a while to play in a real life situation against other teams and not just playing against ourselves or the practice guys anymore, and starting this new journey of the new Dallas Wings organization. And there's a lot of new here, so we're all learning and going through it together. And it's just an exciting time to be a part of this organization and all the new faces, the new relationships, and new already memories that we've built as a team. We can't wait to keep building.
And the fans are going to learn you as well. What do you want them to know about how you go about the game as they begin to learn Paige Bueckers as a Dallas Wing?
That I hope to play the right way, and I hope to involve my teammates in everything, make the extra pass, make the extra read, be a great teammate and leader and a winner, and don't really care about individual statistics, individual awards or accolades. Anything that contributes to winning, that's what I want to do, whether it looks like 5 points one night, 30 points the other night. You don't really care as long as it leads to winning. So, and we just all want to represent the city and make them proud, and just have a sense of pride when we put on that uniform and who we're representing and how much time and money and energy they spend on supporting us. We just want to give back to that.
And I think you make a good point. All these games matter, but this is one that will be in the memory banks. So in those final moments before tip-off, when you're on that court getting ready to go, what do you think will be going through your mind before the opener?
Being in a state of gratitude for where I am, and I've really been focusing on staying present. So just serving the moment, not getting too caught up in it's my first WNBA game, or I'm playing against the Minnesota Lynx, my childhood thing. Like, just being present, serving the moment, asking and doing what that possession is calling for, and just worrying about the game and not trying to win the game in the first possession or do too much with all the stuff that's going on the outside and those expectations. But stay in the huddle, stay with the team, stay locked into what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish.
You alluded to my next question, as a matter of fact, because you're part of this new guard in the WNBA, and I think about you and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and there are others. And I'm interested because I'm sure you want to pay respect to the great women who have made this league what it is today, but also you want to try and say, hey, we're here and we want to help bring the league to that next level. How do you walk that fine line, showing respect, but saying, hey, listen, our expectations are to be even better?
Yeah, we wouldn't even have dreams or aspirations to be in this league if it wasn't for the women before us that paved the way. And this league has been super outspoken, very confident, and just a strong group of women that have shown no mercy to anything, have just came out and competed and wanted to be great from the very beginning of the league. And so I think the best way to show respect to the people in front of you and who have paved the way is to compete, and is to try to win and kick everybody's butt who's on the other side that night, and not back down to anybody, because that's what the people have done before us. But there's definitely a level of respect and acknowledgement that they're the ones who set this place, and now we're going to try to continue to make it better for the next generation of basketball players.
There's also a line that you have to walk in terms of that competition, though, because, listen, you know that you have to build things now that you're here in Dallas, and you have to be part of, continuing to build upon what is a foundation that's been put here. How do you go about knowing it might not be as good as you want it when you start, but there's something out there for you to work for?
Yeah, we're just trying to, like I talked about before, there's just a lot of new here. And so we're trying to lay the foundation for what we want to look like in the future, and it starts now. So continue to build. They've done a great job of surrounding this place with great people, and that's what we care about first and foremost. So when you know you're doing it the right way, you're going about it with the right approach, you trust your process, the results will come. You can't control the results. So just sticking to our process and doing things the right way, and we think everything will take care of itself.
You've been really outspoken in terms of being an advocate for social justice and being able to speak upon things. And I want to thank you. We talked about this earlier. When my 18-year-old daughter found out I was going to interview you today, I actually became cool dad again. It only lasted for a few minutes, but I thank you for it. What's behind the fact that you want to make sure that the way you go about things and the way you view things is seen and heard?
Yeah, I think my parents just raised me to be giving and have a kind, caring soul, and I think shining light on others doesn't diminish your own. So you can have your own light, but you also can share with others who might not get as much light as you and who deserve just as much. And so I've tried to live my life in a way where I'm spreading love, sharing the limelight. I don't want to necessarily be the focal point of everything. I want to share it amongst others because no one does it by themselves, and no one is responsible for everything that happens in life. So I know that there's a lot out there to be aspired for and a lot of growth in terms of equality, social justice, like you talked about, the inequalities of this world. So you can't change the world by yourself, but you can do your darn best to try to use your impact and my platform specifically to try to help this world become a better place.
So you're comfortable with being a role model for young people like my daughter?
Yeah, I think it started on the first day. I was a big sister. I have 3 younger siblings, so that changed a lot of my perspective in wanting to be a role model and somebody that my siblings and then any younger child or girl or boy wants to look up to, for sure.
All right, I'll bring this full circle. So I showed you the picture of when you were younger. We talked about that 11-year-old Paige's motivation. What about the number 1 draft pick in the WNBA? What's her motivation now?
It's like now I'm living my childhood dream, but now it's what I do with it. So continue to find my voice within this team, to continue to be a leader and try to impact winning in as many ways as possible. You want to work to be the greatest, but you can only work to be the greatest if you're great today. So I think I've changed a lot in my approach of just seizing the day, being in the moment, being present, not looking towards the future and all the stuff that you want to accomplish, but you want to accomplish being your best self today. So I'll say all that.
Paige, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the time.
Appreciate
Great meeting
you.
you. My pleasure.
Nice to meet you too.
Absolutely.